movie.
It's Execution by Electrocution Week here on the channel, Horror Hounds. If you happen to be stumbling across this channel though for the first time, take a second and hit that subscribe button below. Like the other Horror Hounds who join me each and every week, you'll be glad you did. The 1980s was an interesting time for prison horror films, especially those about execution by the electric chair. I posted the 4 most popular titles in my poll last week, and my Horror Hounds didn't disappoint me. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the 1989 Wes Craven classic, Shocker. Shocker was filmed on a budget of $5 million in 10 weeks and released to theaters on October 27, 1989, in just under 2,000 venues, days before Halloween. The holiday, not the movie. Shocker almost made back its entire budget that opening weekend alone. Wes Craven was able to achieve this feat by using a very small crew and unknown actors at the time. Also, according to Wes Craven, Shocker was heavily cut to receive the coveted R rating by most directors and producers in order to get their films seen in theaters. It took an estimated 13 submissions to the MPAA to get this R rating instead of an X. Because if you want to make money off of a horror film in theaters, folks, X never marks the spot. Wes Craven's concept of Shocker and its antagonist, however, came from the diminishing quality of sequels A Nightmare on Elm Street was suffering from at the time. Craven had a hand in writing and producing Dream Warriors, which was the second sequel to the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, and also where he felt the ending of his series that he originally envisioned should have been. Okay, Hounds, it's time to see what makes this movie so popular with you guys. Stick around after the breakdown for more fun facts as always about the film and my rating. Get ready to be shocked. The first card we see is for Alive Films. Alive Films took the rights to this film when John Carpenter, creator of the original Halloween, dropped out of a 4-film deal after making They Live in 1988, thus allowing Wes Craven the final 2 slots. As a result, Craven made The People Under the Stairs and this film. And we get that awesome animated title card, folks. Hope this film isn't a letdown. We immediately see the killer's choice of weapon, a Rambo knife. Very 80s. The girl seen here is director Wes Craven's daughter, Jessica Craven. Wait, Ted Raimi is in this damn film too? Man, he gets around. The Rambo knife doubles as a TV repair tool. The TV plays news footage of a slaughtered family where the killer got away. It's the Rambo knife-wielding TV repairman, I bet. It's pretty damn obvious the red stains on that knife aren't from raspberry sauce. There's Ted Raimi. Stands out like a sore thumb. We meet Jonathan, played by Peter Berg, the all-star football jock lead protagonist of the film. Peter is probably best known for his role as Dr. Billy Cronk on the TV show Chicago Hope. Jonathan gets a pep talk.
Someone's gonna come up and help cream your ass! Like that poor young lady sitting over there in the stands with no shirt on.
Yeah, Jonathan has his mind elsewhere. While Jonathan works on his ability to pay attention, we meet Allison, played by Camille Cooper, who is best known for her roles in soap operas such as Knots Landing and General Hospital. Allison and Jonathan are an item. Some kids running randomly disappear. It's a Wes Craven film, folks. You've seen Nightmare on Elm Street, right? I sure as shit hope so at this point. We see a house with the front door wide-ass open and a janky Lester the Molester TV repair van sitting right out front. We do it in your home, huh? Do what exactly? John checks out the house. Looks behind him. Allison is gone. Things are starting to get creepy. John enters the house anyway, where he finds a body that has mangled fingers. And we meet Horace, played by Mitch Pileggi, who is best known for his role as Walter Skinner in the hit TV show The X-Files.
Get him out of here! Come on!
Well, that didn't work out worth a damn. John wakes up. Turns out it was just a dream, where Wes Craven gives us another reason not to fall the hell asleep. John gets a call from Lieutenant Parker, his father. Much like A Nightmare on Elm Street, the lead protagonist has a father in law enforcement. Remember John Saxon's role? Sure you do. John meets his dad. His dad tells him there's nothing he can do. John's family was murdered. We also find out that John was too a foster child of the lieutenant and his family. This is the TV personality and musician, John Tesh. John has a sit-down with his dad to explain he saw this murder happen in his dreams in full detail. His dad isn't buying that bullshit.
Because I'm your father doesn't mean I have to listen to this crap.
John tells his dad he knows the killer from the dream and can take him to his hideout. Later that night at Horace Pinker's place, Lieutenant Parker arrives with backup. The team enters Horace's shop without a warrant. where Horace watches them. One cop down. Horace slips out the back door dressed as a cop and approaches the two inept officers standing guard outside and does this.
Did you find anything?
Make that 3 cops now. The lieutenant finds the first cop that was killed. Horace has a thing for throats, apparently, where we see a dead cat, and Horace gets away, with destruction to a police vehicle, no less. Okay, so 4 cops. The next morning, John takes a rest in his Vibe-O-Matic chair. I think this might be foreshadowing, folks. John gives Allison a gift for her birthday. Yeah, she was just bathing at John's pad. After John leaves for more football practice, I think we can all agree he needs that. His girlfriend stays back at his pad and uses his TV remote that looks like a brick. Well, fuck. John comes right back home to more crime tape. Wait, I thought it was Allison's birthday. Jesus Christ, could Horace have made a bigger mess of this bathroom? Okay, folks, I gotta do it. This segment is brought to you by Formula 409 Multi-Surface Cleaner. That's a lot of damn blood. Let's go with the pro version instead. Allison is laid to rest. John uses his spidey senses to catch Horace in the act this time. John and his football buddy go after Horace for realsies. His dad meets up with them, where they catch Horace in the act of killing. He throws the victim at the cops and escapes, but is apprehended on the rooftop.
You like killing too, huh, Squirt? It's in the blood. You want me? We're killers.
We all know what's about to happen next. John and his dad grab box seats for the big event, while Horace is getting some practice in.
You got it, baby.
One of the guards decides to give Horace mouth-to-mouth. Bad idea.
Let's get on with the killing.
You heard the man. They waste no time. Horace has a final word.
I used to beat you good, boy. I was beating you good when your mama tried to stop me with a gun.
Awkward.
Like father, like son, huh?
Horace gets the juice. But it wasn't enough, so they send in the doc to check him out. Pretty damn obvious he's wide awake. I'd say give him another dose. She gets a jolt. Horace manages to break the electric chair and disappears. Then reappears and spontaneously combust, where he disappears for realsies this time. Some real David Copperfield shit there, folks. The doctor gets carted away in a police cruiser to the nearest hospital. Then she attacks the officer riding shotgun, twisting his head all the way around so he can now see his own ass. Then attacks the officer driving. It's apparent she's possessed with Horace Pinkman's spirit. The cruiser crashes, bringing the total confirmed cop body count up to 6 so far. Oops, make that 5 cops. This cop, driving the car, actually survived. Later that night, John sees Allison.
You gotta stop him, Jonathan.
Of course, it's another dream. The next morning, John gets a knock at his front door. It's that cop that survived the wreck. The cop, possessed by Horace, makes more peepholes in the door. John hauls ass out the back, with the possessed cop in hot pursuit, where he chases John right through a public park of all places. John realizes it's Horace possessing the officer. The Horace wings John with a bullet. A nearby jogger approaches. This jogger, by the way, is played by Jonathan Craven, director Wes Craven's son. Horace shoots the jogger, then passes his soul over to his body. A little girl comes in contact with the jogger, and she is possessed by Horace. Or she's just really rude. I'm sticking with possessed. She damn near kills John with random heavy equipment. Horace climbs out of the little girl's body, looking like an 8-bit video game, and into her mother's, where a nearby construction worker thinks John is trying to rape her. Then Horace jumps in his body. This actor is none other than Kane Roberts, former guitarist for Alice Cooper. The now possessed worker snags Allison's necklace from John on his pickaxe and flings it out into the lake. Nice throw. John's coach tries to make sense of everything.
Are you saying that Pinker is alive somehow, and he just jumps in and out of people like a goddamn clap or something?
And he has an idea.
Well, then let's go just grab the fucker then.
John tells the coach, his buddy, and of course Ted Raimi, that he needs the necklace from the bottom of the lake in order to stop Horace Pinker. In order to find it, though, he needs his diving mask from home, but doesn't want to go back himself to get it. What a lazy prig. The coach agrees to this overly elaborate plan and decides he'll go get the mask himself. All this time, the possessed construction worker is hiding under the bleachers listening in. Sometime later, after the coach doesn't show up, John heads to his house anyways. Why didn't he just do this to begin with? And finds another bloody note on the bathroom mirror. He also finds the coach possessed standing in the shower. Possessed coach goes after John. John quickly gains control of the situation and finds dead Ted Raimi sprawled out on the floor. Sorry, Ted. Ghost Allison shows up to tell Coach to fight Horace out of his body. Things are starting to get silly here, folks. Well, that shit didn't work. 8-bit Horace climbs out of the coach's body. Ghost Allison shoots 8-bit Horace with her chest ray. Man, this is getting really silly. 8-bit Horace does the one thing you tell kids not to do, where he becomes one with the electricity. Lieutenant Parker finally shows the hell up, where he orders his son to be arrested because he thinks his son is doing all of the killings. I mean, what kind of cop arrests a person and just asks them to get in the car with no cuffs? What is this, some sort of honor system? We quickly realize dear old dad is now possessed by Horace Pinkman. John's football buddy gets him out of the cruiser. He flees. Possessed Lieutenant Parker goes after him, and eventually corners John on a rooftop. So John climbs higher onto a TV transmission tower. Possessed Lieutenant Parker follows right behind. We get a little foreshadowing. See what I mean? 8-bit Horace pops back up, where the dish finishes pulling him out of Lieutenant Parker, and beams him across the sky like the more you know PSA. The newscast by John Tesh tells us that John has now been arrested for all of the murders, and a new killing spree has begun. Following that, John was released because the stupid-ass cops realized he couldn't have done it while locked up and figured it was someone else. None of which was actually shown on film. It was just dialogue coming from the newscaster. Maybe they didn't have the budget for it? Who knows? Back at John's crib, he enlists his football buddies to help him find Horace Pinker, once and for all. John's buddies break into the local power station, while John brings in the local news channel to capture the whole thing on live TV. John searches for the necklace that was lost days ago, but Ghost Allison scares the shit out of him, then makes out with him. 8-bit Horace pays a visit. John is visited by all of Horace's victims. John wakes up and realizes that he has the necklace. The vibomatic chair from earlier comes alive and grabs his ass. Turns out it's really 8-bit Horace, who's everywhere at this point. The power of the necklace compels him right back into the TV set,
during the last several minutes,
where John continues fighting Horace on TV shows. John uses the pause button on the remote he found, where he controls Horace, and has the upper hand now. John tells Horace he only has a few minutes left before his buddies kill the power to the city. Horace realizes this could messy up his day. Power gets cut. Horace tries to escape back into the TV, but fails. Horribly, I might add. John hangs that stupid necklace over the camera lens, then dives through the camera, effectively breaking it. With nowhere for Horace to escape, he vaporizes. The end. Shocker was originally designed to be a series for director Wes Craven, much like A Nightmare on Elm Street was. But after poor overall box office reception, the concept was canned and never again revisited. Mitch Pileggi appeared in character as Horace Pinker to promote Shocker on a Halloween episode of MTV's Headbangers Ball. The soundtrack from the film included groups such as Megadeth and the Dudes of Wrath, a supergroup which consisted of Paul Stanley, Tommy Lee, Alice Cooper, Desmond Child, Guy Schiffman, Rudy Sarzo, and Vivian Campbell. Being a big metalhead myself, the soundtrack for this film alone is worth the money. When interviewed about Shocker, director Wes Craven mentioned the special effects nightmare he faced when the coordinator responsible for the effects flamed out from a nervous breakdown by doing more than he could handle. When the coordinator told the crew that none of the effects worked correctly near the end of shooting, this prompted Craven and his son to go out to each editor around town finding all of the negatives for the film. Craven then had to pull favors to have the effects redone very quickly, where some turned out very sketchy in the final product. Shocker had several ties to similarity with A Nightmare on Elm Street. The opening sequence of Horace working in his TV repair shop was very similar to that of Freddy building his glove. The protagonists from both films have nightmares about a killer that turns out to be real, have a lover that was murdered by the killer, and the killer returns from the dead to seek revenge on who was responsible for their death. Guess you could say Horace Pinker was actually a reimagining of Freddy Krueger. This was a fun movie to watch, but not my favorite execution by electrocution film, Horror Hounds. Shocker didn't keep my interest as good as other horror films that had less of a plot did. The idea of Horace jumping from body to body, literally, and the whole extended fight scene with John where they're trapped in TV shows made it feel too cheesy for me. I'm giving this film 3 skulls. Good camera work, lighting, acting, and an awesome original metal soundtrack. Join me next week for Zany Zombie Week. Keep your eyes out for the poll on the community page for zombie films where you get to pick what I discuss next. One for sure will be a dead ringer. Thanks for tuning in, Horror Hounds. Until next time.
I've heard of audience participation shows, but this is ridiculous.